Share tweet what's wrong with Nancy Pelosi? More and more Americans are wondering just that after the Speaker of the House has been caught suffering from massive brain freezes and glitches lately. Just yesterday, the 79-year-old Democrat was addressing the American Road and Transportation Builders Association when she forgot who she was speaking to and didn't know what day it was. Then, in the end, her brain froze completely. Don't miss this. Nancy Pelosi's past gaffes have been chalked up to drinking alcohol or being overly medicated. In the beginning, we all had a good laugh. However, for those of us who are keeping track of the Speaker's struggles to keep a coherent thought, yesterday's display is really troubling and might be due to an underlying medical condition that is just getting worse. Pelosi was supposed to be addressing the American Road and Transportation Builders Association to sell an infrastructure plan. During her 14-minute remarks, she lost track of who she was speaking to and what day it was. Having the plan to spend $2 trillion on infrastructure, Pelosi said, "This is really a pivotal moment." Moments later, she said, last week, was it last? I'm losing track of the days of last week was the celebration of the Golden Spike, referring to the railroad that crossed the country. Did I say I was closing? I'm just going to say it again. I'll close by saying this, she said, repeating herself, despite the shortness of her remarks. She clearly was lost, almost as if she didn't know where she was. Just moments later, she couldn't remember the organization she was speaking to, despite previously heaping praise on its leaders. "I congratulate you for this wonderful conference. I want to again commend she said, fumbling through her notes. I'm not going to say your initials, I want to say the whole word here. The American Road and Transportation Builders Association and the Association of General Contractors of America." She ended her remarks with a brain freeze, awkwardly staring at the audience as she fumbled for words. "We just have to stick with the program," she said. "Just stick with the program," she laughed, and again, "I'm confident that it will happen," Pelosi blurted. "Can I say it that way?" She looked off stage with a bizarre laugh. "I'm confident that it will happen," she slurred, before offering a hearty wave and departing the podium. This isn't the first time we have seen Pelosi suffer from what medical professionals call trans-ischemic attacks or TIAs. It sure looked like oxygen wasn't reaching all her synapses. Pelosi's malfunctioning in public is getting beyond a joke. Just 2 months ago, the Speaker was addressing the Friends of Ireland luncheon, in front of the Irish Prime Minister Leo Varadkar and esteemed guests. Pelosi struggled to keep her train of thought. Her sentences trailed off, making no sense, and she suffered from brain freezes, slurred speech, and repeated words. Pelosi began by telling reporters that President Trump and the Prime Minister of Ireland would be visiting the capital today in honor of St. Patrick's Day this weekend. As she suffers a brain freeze, she said the lunch was intended to honor St. Patrick and the beauty of immigration to our country and people coming from Ireland. It was really hard to watch and really difficult to understand. In the middle of another statement, she let out a big sigh before continuing. But as she continued, she seemed to be lost while talking off the top of her head and quickly reverted to her notes. Hurting families and hungry farmers and hungry families by slashing $220 billion from the SNAP food assistance and cutting Agriculture Department budget by almost 15%, she said. The Speaker tripped over saying LGBTQ community and suffered another brain freeze mid-answer. Then, the House Speaker said some of the Democrats' ideas for climate change will be consistent with some of what's in the Green Deal. New Green Deal? She said, looking at the reporter for a lifeline. She again called it the Green Deal just moments later. It wasn't the first time she botched the socialist plan's moniker. No one wishes their worst enemy to suffer from medical issues, not like this. Although people love to laugh at Pelosi, maybe it's time we stop and implore her family to get her the help she needs. At 79 years old, Nancy needs to retire, and it's up to her Democratic colleagues to also insist she step down and pay attention to these brain freezes and glitches. It's imperative to our national security. Pelosi is third in line to the presidency. We can't allow someone so close to the office of president to be suffering from brain issues. Yet, they all ignore this. But, we shouldn't be surprised. The leftist media along with the Democratic machine looked the other way when Hillary Clinton had major episodes of unwellness all throughout the 2016 campaign. It's how the party of death rolls. They condone killing babies after botched abortions, so why wouldn't they turn a blind eye to an elderly woman having what looks like mini-strokes on live TV? ShareTweet.